Well, hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Today, I want to take a little bit more of a lighthearted note. I don't know about you guys, but I personally don't enjoy swimming purely in the toxicity of anti-religious rhetoric, and maybe even somewhat related to that concept, but in a refreshing way, is today's topic, which is my personal 5 list of things for avoiding depression. Now, I figured this out a few years ago, and obviously, caveat, it's for myself. You might have a different number, probably different ones. Some of them are specific to me, and I'm going to hopefully try to generalize. But I have found it so useful to have this note in my notes. I use Google Keep, but it doesn't matter. And sometimes just, when things aren't going right, I realize, man, I really haven't been social enough, or I haven't been working out enough, or something like that. I guess I'm kind of burying the lead a little bit by giving some examples, but let's just get into these. And I want to say, not groundbreaking ideas. It's just the concept that it's easy to let one of these things slip, and sometimes there's just things that we need. And for me, I need all 5 of these, most days. So we've got 1, health. That's movement, meditation, diet. Now, I'm going to tackle these all 3 just really quick. So movement can be a lot of different things. I went through a bodybuilding phase in college. I know that bodybuilding is not necessarily that healthy, but I certainly am glad that I put all that work into building muscle. I think that it's made body recomposing now a lot easier. And now I use yoga, and walking, hiking. But it's really important that you be moving your body, that I be moving my body. Meditation can come in many forms. And for me, it's just something that I do before the yoga, where I lie down and set a timer for 18 minutes. It can be whatever. But being able to picture my day, perhaps, or, maybe I'll start feeling anxious in the moment because there's something that, but then I can figure it out. And then I feel a lot more at ease. So I know that there's a certain types of meditation where you just try not to think about anything, but I think that meditation as sort of just time alone in your body to just be feeling and thinking in a neutral way before you've added on thinking about experiencing outside, if that makes sense. So it actually is very powerful in that way for setting the baseline for how you interact with the world. And finally, diet. I don't mean crash course dieting, obviously, and I don't just mean generically, but, it's important to supplement our own research because truly they didn't teach us enough about health in school. Yeah, I certainly missed out on a lot of lessons, but spend some time just looking up basic nutrition facts. Macronutrients are the ones that give you calories, fat, carbs, and protein. You need them in a relative concentration. Usually carbs is like half of your calories, and then the other 2 are split up between fat and protein. And what has really been life-changing for me the last few years is totally mind-blowing in a way. Well, the mind-blowing part is that quitting sugar was like quitting drugs. It was seriously a sense of sobriety. And I found out that the sucrose specifically can inhibit, because normally glucose assists with the ADP production that actually gives our cells the normal energy, but sucrose comes in and actually prevents that from happening or something. I'm not chemist or biologist or anything, but that jives with my personal experience. Once I was off sugar, and specifically this is added sugar, so not fruit, just when they add the concentrated sugar. And it's I was able to just suddenly get up and move and take care of something real quick. It was totally crazy. And then we had mostly phased out highly processed foods as a result of the added sugar thing. But the other thing about the highly processed foods, anything that's been super broken down and then re-added together, is that it's basically pre-digested, and then your digestive system is saying, I can handle more. So you don't get that feedback system of being full. Now, there's 2 other dietary restrictions that I've personally made. I've never tested positive for celiac test, but I think I'm gluten intolerant or insensitive or something like that because, I have tummy issues when I have it. And so I quit gluten. And then also I quit meat. Not always. If there's really good quality meat at something, I'm not necessarily going to be a party pooper, but I was just like, I don't know. I was vegetarian for a while growing up. I went back to it for basically just trying to be normal reasons. And yeah, truthfully, it's nice. It's nice. So yeah, that's basically number one, health. Really got to take care of that. And if you're not, I personally find that that's going to contribute to depression. So number two, this is the first one that's going to definitely be different for different people. For me, it's cello. I wrote here openness, technique, and rep. Whatever that meant to me back then. But working on cello might seem obvious for... well, actually, I guess it wouldn't be obvious because this is my second channel. But for those of you who don't know yet, I'm a cellist. So that would be why number two for me is cello. But, and I don't know, maybe it's different because I'm a professional cellist versus a hobbyist. But I feel like, it can be your sport or whatever. Maybe you have a musical instrument too. But I feel like it's probably got to be different in some way from number four. I'm just going to give away a little bit. Production, right? Cello and production are two different things for me. And the difference is that cello is specific to the skill of cello, and production is when I'm actually making things. So I could just be a cellist, but then I wouldn't have content, is basically what that difference is. So with those two, however you break it up, I really don't need to tell you about your life. But, that's, for me, those are those two things. I think number three does relate to everybody. So obviously, music production world, whatever, but learning in general, amazing. Obviously, YouTube can be an amazing place for learning if you're using it properly. I feel like I do. Hopefully, if you're at this channel, you do. And man, not learning, you start to get really stale, and that's not good. And I think a lot of the times when you have a grind, you go to a job, you're not necessarily learning, but taking some time to watch something about how something's made, or I also downloaded a physics textbook that I opened from time to time, slowly work through with the idea that maybe eventually I'll get through the whole thing. I think it's just important to learn, otherwise kind of being depressed. All right, so we've already covered production. So at this point, we've got health. My main skill, cello, learning new things, producing and being creative. Now, all of this stuff is very self-centered, ego-centered. So the final thing is to be social. I wrote here, be chill 95%, connect extroverted 5%. I think the meaning that I have behind this is that I personally can get carried away. I think I am extroverted and I have ADHD, so I can get very distracted being social, and then I don't necessarily get as much work done. So it is important to spend time being chill, being alone, being unstimulated, bored even, so that you can get some stuff done. But then make sure to go talk to your friends. Make sure to call somebody that you really enjoy talking to, because a lot of the time what you're going through, other people are going through, and when we're just grinding it, and forgetting the bigger picture, forgetting or just not connecting to, something fundamental that humans need, which is that community and that social bond is just really important. So I definitely at times have found myself not doing all of these things, but I have found it useful to have this list to be able to refer to. And I hope this video is of use to you in some way if you watched it. If you did watch it, thank you so much for watching. And as always, it's just a thought. Y'all have a nice day.